The Analytics Factory was developed based on a couple of challenges we see at our clients. So the first challenge we see now is that data is expanding quite rapidly. So initially, organizations use the ERP data, but nowadays they also have IoT data of the manufacturing plants, or they have customer data of their marketing tools, or even they buy external data, or they get free data from the cloud. And they want to use that to correlate all the data and solve kind of issues or use cases. So that's one. The second one is that we also typically see that organizations struggle with managing everything. So at the one hand, you have the business asking for use cases. There can be use cases in the back office, there can be use cases in the manufacturing plants, or in the supply chains, in the middle office, or even in the front office for customer journeys. And that's one way of looking at the demand side of the data analytics. On the other side, you have the supply side of data, right? To organize the technology and the platforms to ingest the data and to manufacturing the data and to turn that into insights. You have to organize that, and particularly you need to do that with partners, like the Microsoft or other partners where you need to make that happen. So to really tune those two topics, the business side for demand and the IT side for supply, to organize that, that is the second challenge we typically see at our organizations. And the third topic is what we typically see at our organizations, our clients, is that those clients, they start with a proof of concept. So let's say 1.5 years, a year ago, a lot of organizations were doing proof of concept with data scientists or data engineers trying to solve use case and bring that to the organization. And maybe they start a new one, or even a new one, because they want to build success stories. What we typically see at the moment is that they struggle to bring those proof of concepts to production, to productionalize it. And that's where the Analytics Factory comes in. So we make it easier for the organizations to really industrialize their data and analytics needs and requirements into an architecture, but also into organizations and how people should use it. So how we do that is by combining a cloud environment, typically Microsoft, with Azure, with Azure components for data ingestions, but also for data lake, where the data engineers work with, combined with a Python or R lab or studio, where the data scientists can work with, but also to have components in to have all the data captured into a catalog, so that also the business knows which kind of data is in the lake, right? So that you don't need to take the data again into the lake, and that you can make reuse of it. So the catalog, the data catalog, is a really essential part of that architecture, the Analytics Factory. Next to that, we have visualization tools on top of it, Power BI, for example, but we can also use other non-Microsoft Azure components. Depends obviously what kind of components the organization wants to use. So we also can make use of an Informatica, of an Alteryx, and in that way we can build the architecture, we can build the platform, and that's one of the stages where the organization can start. If you have, let's say, the platform available, then the tricky part comes, the data. So data comes in as a raw data. And typically data scientists like to work with it, but it's not yet ready for production. First of all, we need to clean the data, and the data needs to stay clean and secure. Then we need to harmonize data, because it could well be that the data is already on the platform, or we need new data and we need to harmonize it to make sense and to be able to combine it with other data. And the last step is to productionize the data so that we know that we can use it and add that into the data catalog.